11 o'clock now, so good morning everyone, and thank you for joining us today in this collaboration between the Three Nations Dementia Working Group and the University of Exeter in this virtual theatre to watch and celebrate the much awaited premiere of a groundbreaking, very important documentary which showcases theatrical performances entitled The World Turned Upside Down. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Keith Oliver, and for 41 years I have lived in Canterbury, the last 12 years with a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. In 2014, I was asked to join the advisory group seeking to launch a major research project called IDEAL. And since then, I've been very closely involved with the project and have helped shape many aspects that have since been developed. One of which I'm especially proud and honoured to have helped with, along with my friends in the Always advisory group linked to IDEAL, and that's what we're going to see today. The director and actors were extremely diligent and sincere in seeking to learn from the experiences of the Always team, which is made up entirely of people with dementia and family carers. And this fundamentally shaped the performances and then the film that we're going to see today. Before running the film and inviting Claire and James to say a few words, as a tribute to this occasion, and the project, last night and this morning I wrote a poem which I'd like to use to set the scene. Unsurprisingly, it's called The World Turned Upside Down. Who would ever want to live in a world turned upside down? Not me, that's for sure. Yet that is the reality of the situation at times. Does it need to be thus? Could I not manage with help and support to make the world spin on its normal axis? Who would want to live in a world turned upside down? To experience the fog rolling in with no headlights to guide you? To witness the look of disbelief when memory flaws are revealed? To feel the emotions bringing tears to one's eyes where before smiles were the norm, to hear words and yet not fully comprehending their meaning. But the world need not be like this. The fog can lift, the sun can emerge, compassion, tolerance, and understanding can prevail. Life can go on meaningfully with love at its center. The world can turn and right itself with hope at the axis. The world need not be upside down. Well, that's my five penneth, and that's the B feature this morning. Before we move to the main item, I'd like to invite Claire and James and Bronte if they'd like to say a few words. Thank you.
I'll kick off. Can you hear me? It looks like I'm muted, but yeah, good. That was incredible. Thank you very much, Keith. I feel quite emotional hearing that. It's been a real journey doing this, getting this ready. The play itself, all the work that was involved, the research behind it, and obviously getting the film ready and up and about during COVID and all that other stuff that was going on. So I'm very excited to see how people respond to it, and the play itself was informed by, like I say, the research that we've been doing for IDEAL. So what we wanted is for the actors to do an authentic job in representing people with dementia, and of course we had the research and the Always group helping us think about the types of scenarios and the types of stories that we wanted to convey, which would then allow us to explore this issue of communication and how could we communicate better. So yeah, I'm just really excited to hear people's comments at the end, and I really hope you all you've got your popcorn out and enjoy it. And so I look forward to chatting to you at the end.
There's not much for James. Just before you said, there's not much for me to say because I only just jumped on. I feel lucky enough to be able to be just part of this amazing piece of work that's been done by the Ideal team and the Always group, and I know quite a lot of other people that have been involved. But it's going to be so good to get your feedback on what you think during the play. So please do post in the chat when you're watching it and let us know what you think, because it really is an amazing piece of work that takes a realistic look at what it's like to live with dementia and really makes you think and challenge some of your assumptions. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here to show it too. So yeah, thank you. And thank you, Keith. That was an amazing poem.
So I'm just going to give a wee overview of what the plan is. So we're going to be showing the play. It's on YouTube. After about 35 minutes or so, we'll stop and have a 10-minute comfort break to get another cup of tea and another bag of popcorn, and we can then come back and we'll watch the remainder. And once the play's finished, once the film's finished, then there'll be a bit of chance for Keith and Claire Bronte to answer questions. But do feel free to push your comments in the chat box as we go along, and we'll answer questions towards the end. So I think that's everyone. We're ready for the main feature. Okay.
If there's one single word to describe what living with dementia is like, the word is frustration.
They kind of got this idea in their head of what dementia is, but they're not giving the person a chance to explain how it's affecting their life.
I know a lot of people with dementia who really want to offer something and say something, and sometimes it's not accepted, or it's not taken on board, or it's not given the opportunity to be expressed.
The way people are spoken to and looked and facial positions, all these things are really important.
What you're about to see is a film about a theatre production, The World Turned Upside Down. We take a look at what it's really like to live with dementia, or to care for someone with dementia. The idea came from a conversation between Professor Linda Clare and director Paul Jepson. They were talking about using theatre to share research findings in a way that could make a difference, also about how unrealistic a lot of portrayals of dementia are. Linda runs Ideal, and Ideal is 10 years old. It's a research programme about improving the experience of living with dementia. A group of people living with dementia and carers called the Always group help guide Ideal. You'll see some of them in this film. The World Turned Upside Down uses evidence gathered in the Ideal research programme. Over 1,500 people living with dementia have taken part, as well as 1,200 carers. What you'll see in the film are scenes based on these people's stories, but of course no individuals are named. The stories and the discussions with the Always group help the actors to understand how to portray the experience of living with dementia. We chose the theme of communication. Our aim was to explore where communication can go wrong and to find ways of communicating better for everyone involved. In this film, you'll see 3 actors improvising scenes. They are of key points in life for people with dementia, from first noticing symptoms to diagnosis and right the way through to moving into a care home. The actors play multiple characters. You'll see the rehearsals, you'll see the performances, you'll see the audience discussions, and you'll see the audience's ideas tested in the scenes. The film acknowledges the challenges of living with dementia and offers hope about communicating and caring that is relevant for anyone affected. It's also an exploration of the process of learning about how to portray the experiences of people living with dementia and the personal impact this had on the actors.
My name's Claire Pentecost. I'm the producer on The World Turned Upside Down.
And my name is Paul Jepson, and I'm the director. I'm Jill Cree and I'm one of the actors.
I'm Sally Geek and I'm one of the actors on the project.
My name is Steve Bennett and I'm an actor on the project.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Keith Oliver. I live in Canterbury and I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease almost 11 years ago.
When the moment happens that you forget something or you're struggling for something, what do you feel is happening inside?
And people with dementia will talk about a fog, a brain fog. I got the sense that people were anticipating that that was a long-term experience for someone. It often isn't. And I use the story of traveling along a road in a car and you're going through patches of fog. So 1 minute the visibility can be really quite reduced. Other times it's reduced and makes you very, very cautious and, you know, more mindful of the difficulty you're confronting. And other times it's clear, and then you proceed forward as you would normally do.
I think Keith, doesn't he, talks a lot about fog, fog and things like that, finding the truth in where they go. Because as an actor, you're finding the truth in what you're saying, but in this, you're trying to find the truth in what you're not saying, where the brain's going. Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a set of scenarios, and each of these scenarios can be taken in various different ways. And we'll show you one way, we'll have a bit of a chat about it, and then we'll see if there's some other outcomes that can happen from those scenes. So practically speaking, hopefully that's quite interesting, because it'll mean that you have to think about intention and objective.
So when did you stop driving?
No, I haven't. Well, I sort of have stopped. Because obviously because of this not being able to see the speed. I wasn't mentioning that.
And the children.
And my son and that. We were out one day with in the car with the kids, his kids, not my kids, his kids, and I probably went a little bit fast, and
Apologies, that's not sharing correctly for us. We'll try again.
And then it all came out that I said I had this issue with numbers, and
there are things that are textually.
Can you let me in the chat box know if that's working a bit better for people? Okay, thank you.
In the car with the kids, his kids, not my kids, his kids, and I probably went a little bit fast, and he said, "Dad, look at the speed you're doing," and he obviously clocked something, and then it all came out that I said I had this issue with numbers, and
there are things that are textually interesting that are happening. So rhythmically, what's interesting is when you find you can't find a word or you get lost and you come back.
Mm-hmm.
That's starting to feel quite real for me, and that's a kind of early stages thing, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So that's where we are with early stages. So that's how we're going to need to speak when we're early stages, and then it gets more intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife taught me and reminded me to use my mobile phone to take photographs when I'm out and about. Familiarity is really important, and I will then try and use prompts like the mobile phone to help me navigate. Dementia is much more than memory. That is, again, very, very typical, where the brain, the eyes are seeing something, but the brain isn't processing it anymore.
So I'd like you to meet Steve. And this is his kitchen. And this is his daughter. And his daughter's called Sally. And Sally's popped down to see Dad for the weekend.
Morning, love.
Morning.
Okay?
Yeah, do you want a cup of tea?
I'd love one. I'm just popping out for 5 minutes to get a paper. Sal?
Yeah?
Have you seen my keys?
Huh?
My keys. I thought I'd left them there.
I can take you if you want.
No, it's okay. I just, I'm sure we came in last night from the meal.
I always put the keys there. That's very strange. Huh. You sure you haven't seen them?
I took your keys, Dad.
Why?
Because of what you said last night.
What did I say last night?
Dad, you forgot where you were while you were driving.
Oh, Sally, please. That was a 5-minute blip, I told you. I was just... Things went a bit hazy, that was all. I stopped the car and for a couple of minutes I couldn't remember where I was. That was it.
Oh, that was it?
Yes.
Dad, you could have been in an accident.
I'm not going to be in... I've spoken to the GP. The GP assures me I should be okay to drive.
Should be okay to drive. That's not, you are okay to drive.
Well, I've got a diagnosis in a couple of weeks. We'll take it from there and see what happens.
Right, okay, and until then, you're not driving.
What?
Until you get a diagnosis and we know what's going on, you're not driving.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Sally, please. I need my independence. I need the car.
I'm not being ridiculous. You are.
What?
You forgot where you were while you were driving.
Oh, for goodness sake, girl. As I said, it was 5 minutes, nothing more. I won't have this, Sally. I don't need you coming down giving me this nonsense. Right, listen, my girl. I'm going to count to 3 and I want my keys on the table. 1.
Dad, I'm not 5 years old. You can't put me on the naughty step and expect me to behave.
2. 3. Keys, Sally.
No.
Put my keys on the table. If you don't, you can just leave. You can go.
Are you serious?
Absolutely.
Fine. But don't call me when you get in an accident.
Can I have the house lights up, please? Okay, so fine, that's the first one. We're all improvising, by the way. So actors, technicians, me, we're all improvising. So that didn't go so well, did it? Why? Sorry? Why is it confrontational?
Because of the situation, and both of them were, well, really the daughter could have maybe handled it slightly differently, and her father felt that she was taking his independence away from the choice. Even though she was doing it for his good, it should have been dealt with in a different way. It was a bit disrespectful to her father.
So it's to do with agency, or agency being taken away from a character, is that right? What does she take away?
His choice.
And how did she take the choice away?
Because she took the keys away without discussing it with him first.
Fine. Off you go. Try again.
Morning, love.
Morning.
Okay?
Yeah. Do you want a cup of tea?
Yes, please. I'm just popping out for 5 minutes, get a paper. Sal?
Yeah?
Not seen my keys, have you?
Yeah. Dad, do you want to sit down a sec? I've got your keys.
Huh. Okay, why?
It's just after what you said yesterday. It slightly scared me.
What did I say, love?
That you forgot where you were while you were driving.
Oh, Sally. It's just a 5-minute blip, that's all. I was just... went a bit hazy, forgot where I was for a moment or two. It was nothing. I spoke to the doctor. The doctor assured me everything's sort of fine.
Yeah, okay, that's sort of fine, but I just think maybe until we know what's going on, maybe you shouldn't drive.
But, Sal, I can't not drive. I need the car, love. I can't get anywhere without the car.
I mean, I'm here this weekend. I can take you places.
Sally, I think you're overreacting. I really do.
Okay. I'm just worried you might get in an accident, or...
I'm not going to get into an accident, am I, love? I'm sure it was just a one-off. I've got this diagnosis thing in a couple of weeks. If they say I can't drive then, well, then I won't drive.
Okay. Maybe, can I come with you while I'm here? Just in the car with you. It might put, I mean, maybe I am overreacting. It just put my mind at ease.
Well, if it makes you feel better, certainly. I mean,
Yes. If it makes you feel better, you can drive me this weekend.
Amazing.
But I'll need the car be, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. Until I've had this diagnosis in 2 weeks' time, I'll take the bus.
Really? You never take the bus.
No, it's full of old people.
Thanks, Dad. I mean, I know, I'm probably overreacting. I just worry.
Okay, I get it. Okay, that's what we'll do.
Okay.
Lunch?
Yeah.
Early days when Mum was still driving, and I'd come home and the car wasn't in the garage. She had been driving back from wherever she was shopping and got a little bit confused about where she was, and she'd just park up and walk home. And somehow walking, she could get home walking.
I was going to say, like, it's clearly not an issue that only one person deals with. You affect everyone around you, whoever's caring for you, whoever cares for you in any way. Like, it's very challenging. And my grandfather had dementia, and it was very, very hard to have a conversation with him. And personally, with the car scene, the first scene, like I had like an experience in the car when we almost had an accident because he was, not in the right state of mind. We didn't really know what was going on at that point. And it's really good the way that it's been presented, because the person with the dementia does get quite, like, almost not anxious, but they get quite stressed with themselves because you're telling them they've done things. You're like, well, I haven't. They realise that they have.
Let's go to the doctor, shall we? Can we go to the doctor?
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Take a seat.
Thanks.
My name's Dr. Forster.
Hello.
I've had a referral from your GP, Dr. Sims?
Dr. Stims.
And you're at St. Leonard's Medical Practice?
No, I'm at St. Thomas.
Right. So yes, I've had a referral from your GP from some initial tests that you've done.
Yes.
So today I'd like to do a medical history with you. Then if we could get you booked in to do some blood tests and some urine samples, and then we'll get you booked in for some memory tests as well.
Right. Okay.
And then depending obviously how they go, we'll then book you again, maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so.
Right. And how often do I have?
I mean, really, it depends on how quickly we get a diagnosis. At this stage, we're just ruling things out rather than ruling things in, so it can take a while.
But I've got a job. I can't come every 2 weeks.
Yeah, we do early mornings and evenings.
Right. Okay. Right.
So are you okay to carry on with the medical history?
Yes, I thought I did one with the GP, but...
Yeah, we do one too, in case we miss anything.
Right.
Okay, so do you have any medical conditions?
No, only what's going on here.
Any historical medical conditions, whether treated or not?
No.
Any chronic illness or disease in immediate family? That's diabetes, cancer.
No, nothing.
Are your parents still alive?
No.
And what ages did they die?
My mother was 81, and my father were. Sorry, my father was.
Rough ballpark is fine.
Yes. Sorry. Late 70s, I think.
Do you smoke?
Haven't smoked for 30 years.
Do you drink alcohol?
Occasional glass of wine.
How many units a week?
I don't really know what a unit is.
2.5 units to a large glass of wine?
Right. 5, 7.5 units.
Any medications?
No.
Any allergies?
No.
Okay, and as far as the onset of symptoms, when would you say you first started to notice?
Well, as I said, it was a few weeks ago. I'd been out driving and been hazy, and I stopped the car, and I didn't quite know where I was, and it didn't last long. But I have had another incident recently.
Right.
Yeah, different. I was I went to reach for the cutlery, and it wasn't quite where I thought it was.
Right, would you say that's reflex or eyesight?
I've got no idea.
Any head trauma or accidents?
No.
Any headaches?
No.
Any tightness or pain in the chest?
No.
And how would you say your mood is?
Well, it's not so good since I've been here, if I'm honest. Sorry, just not.
Right, that's fine. If you could just go down the corridor into your left to the nurse's station for your blood sample and urine.
I'm doing that now.
Yes, please.
Right, okay.
Any questions?
Well, yes, I do. I do have one question. My daughter's concerned about whether or not I should be driving.
Legally, you don't have to let the DVLA know until you've had a diagnosis.
Right.
At this stage, you don't have a definite diagnosis.
No.
But I would say, considering your first episode was in a car, no.
Right, thank you.
Thank you. To your left.
Thank you.
What's the doctor not showing?
I was going to say compassion as well, and she's being very quick when she should be patient.
She's quick, so the tempo thing comes up again, and yes?
The eye contact is also very
points.
lacking.
So what's wrong with the eye contact? What's wrong with her eyes?
Well, every time she says something, she's either looking at her screen, and then she flicks over the end of her sentence and looks over with a quite disconcerting face. It shows that she doesn't really care. And straight off the bat as well, the only line that she actually said fully to the other character was just like, come in and sit down, and then the rest of it she was looking at a screen, not really caring.
Well done. Well done. It's comic because it's sort of quite extreme, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible that could happen. And I'm seeing a few nods in the room, so people have some sense of being on the receiving end of some of that. Maybe the doctor's stressed or tired or whatever. What's interesting is the impact that it has on the scene. You notice it makes him stressed, doesn't it? No, I love it. It's absolutely excellent. Right, do it again. So I want you to start again. Feet flat on the ground, please.
Sorry.
And all the time you're taking notes. Yeah. I want to see you taking the notes. And I want to err on the side of as professional as possible.
Yeah.
So don't as little sympathy as you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's absolutely professional. Let's be fair to the NHS and have another go. And this time, the rule is that you can have as much empathy for your patient as is possible within your professional.
Sure.
Your professional relationship. So you can't tell him anything you can't reassure him about something which you can't reassure him about.
Mr. Bennett?
Yes.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Take a seat.
Thanks.
I'm Dr. Forster. I'll be your specialist.
Oh, hello. I'm Steve.
Hi. Righty. So I have a GP referral from some tests that you've done.
Yes.
A couple of flags have come up, hence why you've been referred to me.
Okay.
And I've got a Dr. Sims, is it?
Stims is the T.
Stims. Oh, it's probably just a typo from the other end. And can I just confirm your medical practice?
Yes, St Thomas.
Ah, okay. Right, so today, ideally, what we'd like to do is if I could do a medical history with you.
Right.
And then we would like to do some bloods.
Okay.
Not keen on bloods?
Not my favourite, no.
No, well, they're all friendly here. And then we'll have a urine sample as well. And then we'll get you booked in for some memory tests.
Okay.
And then dependent on the results from that, you'll then come back in maybe a couple of weeks or a month or so, and then just ruling things out at the moment. I mean, hence the bloods and urine.
Yes.
Make sure that we don't have any infections and that sort of thing.
It's just I have a job. It's difficult.
Yeah, no. So we do some early morning and late evening surgeries.
Right.
I can also do a GP letter for you, like get your GP to do a letter for your employer.
Okay. Yes, great. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Great. So I'm going to do a medical history with you today.
I thought I did one with the GP.
Yeah, it might feel like you're repeating yourself a bit, but we just want to cover all bases, make sure that we've got a full record for you, because you are in my hands now.
Okay. Yes.
Lovely. Right. Do you have any medical conditions?
No, apart from what's happening now, no.
And any historical medical conditions at all, whether they're treated or?
No.
Okay. And any chronic illness in the family, such as cancer or diabetes?
No, nothing.
Do you mind me asking, are your parents still alive?
No.
No. And what ages, please?
Mother was 81 and my father... Sorry.
Oh, don't worry, I often forget what ages my parents are.
Yeah, I told the GP the other day.
It can just be a rough number, don't worry. I can go back through your records.
Yeah, I'm very sorry. Late 70s, I think.
That's fine. Lovely. Are you on any medication at all?
No, I'm not, no.
And have you got any allergies?
No.
Lovely. Do you smoke?
No, not for 30 years.
Well done you.
Thank you.
And do you drink alcohol at all?
Occasional glass of wine.
Okey-dokes. And so, as far as we'd say, like an onset of symptoms, when would you say you first noticed anything?
Well, that was a few weeks ago. I'd been out driving and, well, this is going to sound a bit strange, but I got this sort of haziness around, a bit sort of Star Trek-ish, I suppose. And so I stopped the car and then I just didn't recognise anything. I mean, I knew, in retrospect, where I was,
Yeah.
but nothing made any sense to me, and that must have lasted for 10 or 15 minutes, I guess.
Yeah. And sorry, did you say that was 3 to 4 weeks?
Oh, at least, yeah, a bit longer, I think, yes.
And would you say you've had anything since, any reoccurrence?
No, not like that, but I have had a couple of incidences where I've gone to pick things up, cutlery and pens, and it's hard to describe, but it's not where I think it is. Does that make sense?
No. Would you say it's sort of like a reflex thing, or is it that your sort of the eyesight and where you're seeing it is different?
I don't really know. It's
That's okay, don't worry. And any numbness or tingling in the fingers?
No.
Lovely. And have you had any head trauma at all? Any
Never.
headaches or anything like that?
No.
Any high temperatures?
No.
Lovely. And lastly, really, sort of, has your mood changed at all?
I've felt down since it's happened. If I'm honest, I've not felt as good as I normally do. Yeah, it's playing on my mind. Yeah.
That's okay. Right, as I said, I can't say how long this is going to be. We are in the ruling out phase at the moment.
Sure.
In the meantime, if you've got any questions.
I just have one. My daughter's concerned about me driving.
Yeah, so legally, you don't have to tell the DVLA until you've had a diagnosis.
Right.
You're obviously not in the phase yet where you've had one. I mean, you've got here that obviously your first episode that you've noticed is in a car.
Yes.
I understand, you might need the car, but I would just err on the side of caution with that one in case it is a trigger or anything like that.
Right.
And also in the meantime, I would say some people have found really helpful and actually sped up the process is if you could sort of record any time that you have an incident.
Yes.
So we can sort of keep a log of it all.
Sure. I can do that, certainly.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
If you could go down to the nurse's waiting room.
Right.
For your blood tests and urine samples, please, and then we'll get you booked in for a memory test.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you. You've been very helpful. Thank you very much indeed.
Just down to the left there.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I mean, straight away, it was like, welcome through the door, how are you doing?
Yep.
And it was very considerate when they were asking about parents, saying, do you mind if I ask? It was just a lot more considerate than the first performance.
And substantially, what's different? What does the doctor get out of it that she didn't have before?
He's a lot more cooperative.
He's more cooperative, so she learns more, doesn't she?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
He feels more comfortable, so he speaks up more.
Yeah. She learns more, doesn't she? Yeah. Which, when that happened in the rehearsal room for the first time, we went, oh, of course. Makes perfect sense. But because it's part of it, isn't it? The history is important. So it's quite a simple scene, but again, it spins a bit. There's no substantial difference, but you go out of one feeling absolutely livid.
Yes.
And you go out of the other feeling a little depressed.
Yeah.
And a bit shocked.
Yeah, less than that, I would have thought. Yeah, just feeling, oh, okay, well, they're going to
Here
do
we
stuff.
go.
Here we
Yes.
go. Let's get it going then. Yeah. And it is purely and simply the attitude of the practitioner, isn't it?
It's sort of like the opposite of the relative,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Because the relative needs to slightly remove themselves.
Yep.
Or remove their own emotions onto it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right. It is different. The big difference between the professional and the relative is that the relative has to live with the relative, and the professional doesn't have to live with the patient.
Yeah.
So I'm going to introduce you to another family, and it's Jill's family. And Jill is joined by her son, who's called Tony, and they're in a country house hotel. And her daughter is driving from a long way away, and this is a family lunch. And Jill has summoned the family to their meeting because she has some news for her children. And it's something she wants them to be with her so she can talk to them about it. Off we go.
Where is she, Mum?
You know as well as I do how far she has to come and what the traffic is like on the motorway.
We've been sat here now an hour and a half. 3 cups of coffee. I'll be peeing all the way home.
Please.
Can't you just tell me what it's all about?
I'd rather tell you together. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you for not helping me one little bit. Hi, sorry.
All
Sorry,
right,
I'm
now
late.
if you're here.
Hey, Brett. Oh, great. In a good mood, as per usual. Seriously, why is it like going back 50 years every time you come down to Devon?
Really?
And the sat-nav always says 4 hours, but really, it's 5.5.
Oh, dear. Well, anyway, you're here now.
Yes.
That's the important thing.
And I'm desperate for a coffee, actually. Oh, excuse me, yes. Oh, do you have dairy alternatives here? Great. Can I get flat white with oat milk, please? Thanks. Sorry.
Mum.
This isn't going to be any easier for me than it is for you. Best and worst will get out of the way. I haven't got cancer, and I'm sorry, but I haven't won the lottery. But I do have some fairly serious news.
Oh, thanks. Could I get some brown sugar? Thank you.
Several months ago, it was pointed out to me by a very close friend that I was forgetting lots of things that I hadn't noticed. Silly little things like, oh, my best friend's name. I met her in the street and said hi because I knew I recognized her, but I couldn't remember her name for toffee. And there was a day when I went out to go shopping and left the front door keys in the lock. Silly little things on their own, but put together, it meant a trip to the doctor. And from the doctor to a psychologist and then to a specialist.
Did you know that she was doing all of this?
Long story short, please let me get there. I've had a diagnosis of dementia. Now, I know it's a shock. And yes, you will say, I should have told you already. I didn't want to tell you any sooner because it could have turned out to be nothing.
Yes, but it has turned out to be something,
Yes,
hasn't
all right,
it?
which is why we're here now.
Why did you do this on your own?
Because...
Why did you let her do this on...
I knew nothing about it.
You live here?
Oh, well, you're going to have to move back as well now.
Absolutely not. I can't. I've got a job.
Well, how the hell are we going to deal with this?
I don't know, but we're going to have to think about homes or something. She can't live on her own.
Am I still here? Here's you two squabbling like a couple of infants over a toy.
Pause.
It's laughable.
Pause. How are the kids coping?
Oh, brilliant.
They're doing brilliantly, aren't they?
But-
So when you say textbook, what's textbook about it?
Well, they're thinking about, it's their emotional reaction to it, isn't it? Without thought for her, their lives.
That's it. That's version 1. So version 2 is the smothering one, isn't it? Control-based smothering is number 2. That's all right. Are you all right? We'll be round.
We'll be here. We'll be round all the time. I'll get a carer to come into the middle of the day.
It's all right.
They can call me.
It's all right. It's all right. Do you want to?
and I will climb the wall.
Could you try and just be a bit more sympathetic to your mother, please? Please. Could you bear to tell them again? Would that be all right? Okay, and let's go.
Right, long story short, I've had a diagnosis of dementia. Now, I know it's
Mummy!
Yes, dear, all right. It isn't the end of the world.
Are you going to be okay?
Yes, well, for quite a long time, I hope.
We're here for you, whatever you need. Look,
Yeah.
we'll do this together, whatever you need.
Look, I brought you both up to be independent. I've never pushed you into jobs you didn't want or tried to persuade you to over-educate yourselves or anything like that. I've let you choose your path in life.
Yeah, and we are here for you. I can move back.
Me.
You can go in and look
Can
after
I?
her.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think in both scenarios, it's quite emotionally fueled
Yeah.
by their own emotions and their own situations, and they need to sort of set themselves aside for a moment and focus.
Yeah. So we're controlling again, aren't we? We're controlling it. And why are we controlling it? Why are we controlling it? Because we're upset. It's really, really important, this, I think. When we've been working for about a week and a half on this, or about a week or so, it started to make sense to us. The thing is, it's a small word, care, for a big, big thing. And caring is very, very, very hard. Because what you have to do if you're trying to care for somebody is you have to not allow your own emotions to condition your response. And we have to own up to the fact that actually we all do it all the time. It's just that if you're dealing with someone who has a diagnosis of vascular dementia, it's kind of a bit selfish, so it's funny. But I do think one of the reasons why we laugh is that we know that we get up to it ourselves.
It's still a bit overwhelming, like
Yeah.
just being too sympathized because she's just trying to tell them how she feels about it, but yet they're just kind of like going crazy, and the worst thing you can do is make someone feel like the situation is worse at that moment.
So if you were playing either of these characters, what would you be saying to yourself? What would your activity be?
I'd be less self-involved.
Yeah.
They clearly don't hear her. They're more self-interested and don't really understand her needs emotionally.
Yeah, very good. So what are these two playing at the moment? What is their action? They're on the same action. What is it?
It's a bit panicky.
Yes.
It's too many words. They're not really giving them a chance to explain how it's affecting their lives. They kind of got this idea in their head of what dementia is, but they're not giving the person a chance to explain how it's affecting their life.
So if I was to kick myself into activity and I was either of those two actors, what I'd say to myself is something like, I make myself feel better by sympathizing with my mother. Yeah? And so what you realize by that is I make myself feel better by sympathizing with my mother is not that far from I make myself feel better by controlling my mother.
Okay, so I think we're going to take a quick 10 minutes break to get another coffee, get some more popcorn, and we'll see you back here in 10 minutes. So it's at just before 12 o'clock. Thank you.
Well, we're just going to take what comes, haven't we? We can't do anything else. You're going to read that poem?
Well, it's now 12 noon, so welcome back, everyone. I hope that you were all refreshed. I've certainly got a cup of coffee by my side here. And thank you for the comments about the poem. And some people have asked me to read it again to sort of launch part 2 of the film. Hopefully, what you hear now will make even a stronger resonance in your mind, bearing in mind what you've seen on part 1 and what you're going to see on part 2 of this wonderful performance. So the world turned upside down. Who would ever want to live in a world turned upside down? Not me, that is for sure. Yet that's the reality of the situation at times. Does it need be thus? Could I not manage with help and support to make the world spin on its normal axis? Who would want to live in a world turned upside down? To experience the fog rolling in with no headlights to guide you, to witness the look of disbelief when memory flaws are revealed, to feel the emotions bringing tears to one's eyes, where before smiles were the norm, to hear words and yet not fully comprehend their meaning. But this need not be the case. The fog can lift and the sun can emerge. Compassion, tolerance, and understanding can prevail. Life can go on meaningfully with love at the center. The world can turn and right itself with hope as its axis. The world need not be upside down. I hope from part 1 you've enjoyed it, found it interesting, and are now set up ready for part 2. When you're ready, Claire, James, thank you.
Jill stays at home, and Tony pops in to look after her from time to time.
Mum!
Yes, dear.
Mum, are you up?
Yes.
Come on, Mum, in a great big rush this morning. Now, have you brushed your teeth?
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, look, I'll make you a piece of toast. You can eat it in the car. Is that okay?
I thought I'd have breakfast at the cafe this
Well, you can, Mum, but I'd like to know you've got something inside you. But come along, please. I'm in a rush. Get your shoes on. I'll make the toast. Mum?
Yes?
What are you doing, Mum?
Brushing my hair.
Right. Mum, what do you want on your toast?
Marmalade.
Marmalade. Right. 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 Come on then, Mum, please, let's move. Okay, Mum, no. Not those shoes, please. Use the...
So it's perfectly safe, okay?
Okay, fine. Come on.
Last night to set.
Are you done with it, Mum?
It might have slipped.
It's under the pillow. Mum, it's not.
Where's the charger, Mum?
It's dinner.
No, it's not. Oh, forgot it.
I don't remember.
No idea, but come on, let's go,
Right,
please.
Dad. Okay.
Right.
Stairs. Doctor says exercise. Right.
Okay, stairs. Just move, please. Come on now. Please, Mum, I'm going to be late. Come on, please. Two more. 1, 2. There we go. Right, now. There's your toes. Grab that. Do not get it on the car seats, please. What about a coat?
I think the radio said it might rain.
Right, Mac then.
Mac,
right,
yes.
there we go. Come on, let's go. Now. Thank you.
The thing that really gets my goat when I'm out and about is people kind of almost treat their loved one as if they're a toddler. And my favourite worst one is when they're getting ready to go, if you're in a cafe and they turn to their loved one and say, do you want to go to the toilet then? Because it's demeaning, I think. My way would be maybe 5 minutes before we were getting ready to go, I would just say something like, I think I'm going to have to go to the loo before I go. And that would just give her time to for it to percolate and to think, well, actually, maybe I should go too.
That was interesting. I'm aware of that with my it's so easy to get frustrated. God, I love my dad to bits, but occasionally it does my head in, you know. Yeah. I mean, I'm there, 3 times a day, and sometimes it's just like, I phone my brother up and say, I've walked out because I'm going to bloody got to lose the plot here. It's and I do understand that totally, and it's, yeah. Actually, hearing that's made me feel a bit sort of, a bit bad about myself, really.
What is it that he's doing which is not helpful? Bullying. And treating her like a child, rushing her.
About him.
Sorry?
The day's about him more than it is her.
About him rather than her. So we come back to some of the same things, don't we? We're just getting into situations that are getting a little bit more dangerous. Do you notice her closing up? And that's something what's that to do with? Why is she closing up? Why is she?
Protection, isn't it? He's getting at me and I'm protecting myself.
So there's this sort of fear, quite a lot of fear happening.
Go with anxiety.
Yeah.
He's reminding her of her problems.
Reminding her of her problems.
I thought what was really interesting as well is pretty much the whole time he was in the house with her, he wasn't in the same room as her.
Yeah.
So he wasn't actually paying attention to what she was doing or what she was saying or any of her actual needs. It's like he decided what was going to happen before he showed up and went about doing that without actually conferring with her either verbally or like with body language or anything like that. And he wasn't able to sort of pick up on any of the stuff that she was doing that maybe would give him a more comprehensive understanding of her situation.
And I think that's something that I don't know if people relate to that, but I think these situations do happen a bit by accident. I mean, I don't think people necessarily choose to be a carer, but it's his mum, what's he going to do? Was that how you'd like to care for your...
His intentions are to help. He's just taking her out by being too rushed and too overwhelming towards her.
Yep.
There's an extreme lack of empathy, and he's rushing her, and there's he's kind of ordering her about, and I feel like with my tired, really stressed out, it's kind of putting her in a position where she doesn't have a lot of say. He's interrupting her very well.
So there are all sorts of problems: lack of agency, stressing her out. Why is he doing what he's doing?
I think it comes from a place of care, but
what's stressing him?
Time.
I was just going to say, I think it's quite stark that we're seeing this now, which seems to us, I can't believe I'd ever treat my mum like this. But if it's a routine that happens every day, you just slowly lose track of and lose track of the care.
The thing about care is it's easy to say that you care. We say, I care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about this. I care about that. I don't care. Do I care? I don't know. if you play with that word, it's quite interesting. It's a very small word that we use very, very flippantly, which is in fact very profound. To care for another person is in fact extremely difficult. And it's difficult at the point where caring for the other person that we need or want, which is the classic problem with the relative in this scene, who didn't necessarily particularly decide that they were going to care for somebody. They just started doing it by accident.
What would have to change about the way you related to her for you to find it less stressful to relate to her if you were the same person, is the question. You don't have to answer me, but I want you to see you do the scene again.
Mum!
Yes, dear.
Mum, are you up?
Yes, dear. And dressed.
Mum, I'm really sorry. I'm in a terrible rush this morning, all right? The kids have made me late, so have you brushed your teeth?
Yes.
Have you? Jolly good. Well, look, can you get your shoes on? I'll make you a piece of toast, okay?
Right. Well, I was going to have breakfast at the cafe.
Well, you can do, Mum, but I'd just like to know you've got something inside you, okay?
Okay,
What would
yes.
you like on your toast, Mum?
Marmalade?
Marmalade. Okay, I'll make it. Shoes on as quick as you could, please. Thank you. All right. Toast. Butter. Mum?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Brushing my hair.
Right. Look, have you moved the marmalade?
No. Isn't it in the fridge?
No. Don't worry, I'll find it. Oh, that'll do. Right. Okay, then, how are we doing?
Okay.
Oh, Mum, please. Mum. I bought these slip-ons for you to wear.
I am not wearing bedroom slippers.
Mum, they're very expensive shoes. They're 45 quid a pair. I'm worried about you tripping on the laces.
I've done the bows in a knot, so they can't come undone. Jane told me that at the cafe.
Okay. All right. Well, chat about it tonight, okay? All right. Got a dash. I'm ever so sorry. Come on.
Okay.
All right. Have you got your mobile?
I think it's under my pillow.
Is it? Oh. Mum, it's not charged up.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Sorry.
What have you done with the charger?
Hey?
Duh.
No.
I'll tell you what, don't worry, I'm sure I've got a spare one in the car. Come on, let's go. Right, can you take the stair lift?
I'd rather walk down the steps.
Okay, well, nice and carefully now. We don't want to rush this bit, do we?
No.
Okay, that's good. You're doing well. Very good. 2 more to go. 1, 2. Right, okay, right. There's your phone in your bag, okay?
Right, yes.
There's a piece of toast. I can't find the marmalade, but let's not worry, eh?
Okay.
Please don't get it on the car seats or I will shoot you. Right, come on, what about a coat?
Aren't you picking me up after work?
Well, hopefully, yes.
Well, in that case, I don't need a coat, do I?
Well, take a light one just in case.
All right.
Let's go then. There we are.
Okay. So we have to honour his predicament as well. I mean, he's got a job and he has to be in a hurry, all that sort of thing. But there's more space, isn't there? It's better, isn't it? I mean, he pops upstairs when he's making the toast. Popped upstairs, are you making the toast, didn't you? Yeah. He doesn't take her to task over the phone. You just a little bit. It's a bit easier, yeah. So he's decided not to let the pressure work on him. Right. Let's ramp it up. So 6 or 8 months' time. 6 or 8 months' time. He's been doing this 6 months. 8 months.
Mum!
Hello?
Mum, are you... Oh, Christ almighty, what's this all over the bloody floor, Mum?
Hello?
Cottage pies. Oh. Mum, no, look, please, I'm in a hell of a rush this morning. No, come on, please. The kids have made me really, really late. Come on, let's get you in and brush your teeth. I am Tony, Mum, I am Tony. Come on. Right, now, come on. Shall I do it for you?
No, I can do it.
Come on then, please. I'm in a heck of a rush, Mum, please. Come on, that's it. Oh, for Christ's sake, Mum, look, half a bloody tube of toothpaste down the sink. Just give it to me.
No, give it here. It's mine. I can do it.
Right, okay. You do it. I'm going to make some toast, all right?
I
Now,
can
please,
do it.
get your shoes on. I've got to go.
I will do it.
Toast. Butter. Bloody marmalade. Come on. Are you getting ready, Mum?
Yes, I'm ready.
Right, that'll do. Come on. Come on now, please. Please. Shoes, come on now, please. Slip-ons.
No.
Oh, don't start this nonsense again, Mum.
Please.
You're wearing the slip-ons.
No.
Oh, do it your bloody self then! Mum, I'm sorry. Mum, look, since Sandra's left, I'm getting the kids up. I'm coming round here. I'm getting you up. I'm trying to get to work. I'm back here at lunchtime. I'm back again to pick the kids up. Back here in the evening. I can't cope with it, Mum. I just can't carry on like this. Something's got to give, Mum.
A noise. Oh no. That's quiet. Oh, hello, love. I didn't hear you come in. Are we going to the cafe?
Yes. Yes, Mum, we're going to the cafe.
My grandma, when she was quite late into Alzheimer's, my uncle was looking after her, and she'd ring up my mum and say, I don't know who this person is, but I know I love him. And because she could still feel that, she was happy that he was there, she felt safe, she would go along with the fact that he was living in her house and he was there, but she could not for the life of her tell you who he was, but she knew she loved him.
My approach to individuals was often a professional one. You know, the cognitive side of my thinking would outweigh the emotional side. Now that's completely the opposite. It's the emotional side of my thinking that far overcomes the cognitive. I will forget what people say to me, but I'll remember how they make me feel. That's the expression I use.
So it's interesting theatrically to have an endpoint, and that's quite a truthful endpoint. That's where it's going to go unless other things intervene. He's not a bastard. That's the important thing. He doesn't mean to do it. So what do we have to think about to stop that happening? Sorry, hang on a second.
Support network around?
Sorry?
The support network.
Support network, yep, thank you. What else?
At that point, I think he is a bastard, and that was abuse.
Yep.
You wouldn't say somebody who was domestically violent, we understand why you hit her or why you shouted at her.
Yep.
It was abuse.
Yep, fair enough.
To be fair to both of them, there's an immense amount of pressure on both individuals.
Yep.
And it requires perhaps family further away to look in and help both of them, because he's in as much need as she is at this point.
Yep.
Pressure coming from his own family and her.
Yep.
It doesn't excuse his actions, it just explains them, and some form of intervention needs to go in place that's suitable for both of them.
Pass it down to the lady in front of you.
I think it's coming to a point where the family needs to think about a care home of some sort.
A care home.
Because it's getting too abusive and too much for everybody.
Yeah.
Whoever, where they can contribute to help her, they can't do it anymore.
Yeah. I'd like a, sorry, yes?
The thing you've got to think about is the family dynamic. It's the child's responsibility to the parent.
Yeah.
He's taking on that responsibility. This is his mum. He doesn't want to let her down, you know, for whatever reason. And for a lot of people, there is that element of pride. They're not going to admit that they can't cope.
Yeah.
And then that's when it escalates to something like we've just seen. So it is be it for people to feel confident enough to go and ask for the help they need to cope in situations like this.
I find myself wanting to ask people, I'd like to know if people feel that a situation like this between two people who basically do love each other is likely to be happening somewhere at the moment. So those people who think so, I'd like you to put your hands up. I just want to have some sort of straw poll on that. Yeah, so we're not necessarily doing something which is unrealistic. So it's an important thing to reflect on and to unpack. So there is a point at which it gets there is an end point in the care relationship where the care relationship is completely inverted, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is actually just abusive, which is kind of quite horrid.
Yeah.
But it's obviously it happens. And the thing that's interesting here about this situation is that moving from being relatively uncaring to being relatively caring is difficult because you have to let go of a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the thing that's hard.
Yeah.
You have to leave it parked in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
Fear is a really powerful emotion, and when normal things happen, like someone's trying to give you a shower or help you have a shower, there's a fear of the water. It's like it's attacking you. Anything that needs to be done for you can be seen as an attack through fear.
You're getting frustrated with her.
Yes.
But what I also quite like is that you kind of don't want to leave. You don't want to leave because it's as though you're concerned.
I can only talk from my own experience, but my experience, I mean, my dad's not got dementia or anything. He's very ill from a very bad fall and is in a great deal of pain. And I've sort of become the carer inadvertently, and I'm not the best person for it. No, but I honestly, but seriously, no, I know, but seriously not.
That's something
And because they said the other day, if we could get enough money together, would you be the carer? And I said straight away, no.
And when you say you're not the best person, is it because you find the situation frustrating?
Because I think I have a lot of stress in my life generally, with kids and all sorts of stuff. One's always concerned about work, being an actor, you know, where's the next check? So you bring with you more than looking after the person, don't you?
I think what you're saying at the moment is it's very honest of you, but it's also very humane, because I think that the thing about the person who's put in the position of being the carer is that they're not necessarily dissimilar from you.
No. That's the sort of thing.
And that's why that's why the scene has some reality to it.
Because I think, even though the frustration's there, I won't walk out the door till I know he is comfortable, he is happy, so that. There is a dilemma, and I think that must go on all the time with carers, because I don't think most people can't afford to be carers.
Absolutely.
You know. And they have a life beyond that of a carer.
So, what do we have to do to change the scene? This is interesting. Go.
Make the son less vocally dominant, because he's very interruptive and shouty and loud.
Yeah, now, but this is interesting, because actually you can't solve this inside the scene. He's already there. How do you solve it? How do you change the scene?
In Steve's own words, something's got to give.
Yep.
Outside of this scene, outside of this
So
situation.
you have to go outside the scene, don't you? I want to ask them to play it again. And I want to show you something which we found, which I think is possibly a way to start to change the situation, or we think it possibly is, credibly. Okay, and off you go.
Mum, are you up? I mean, oh, for Christ's sake, Mum. What's this all over the floor down here?
Hello?
Mum, please, I'm in heck of a rush this morning. I'm really sorry. Okay, Mum? The kids have left me very late, okay? So we need to get your teeth brushed, all right?
Right.
Come on then, please, quickly now. Look, shall I do it for you?
No, it's all right. I can do it.
Come on then, please, Mum. I'm sorry to rush you, Mum, I really am, but I gotta go.
Is that enough?
Yeah, that's brilliant, Mum, brilliant. That's it. Whoa, Mum, you're brushing your face. Brush your teeth.
Oh.
That's it, right. Now I'm gonna go and try and make you some tea.
All right.
Okay, I just...
James, I don't know if you're there. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm wondering if you've lost connection or if you're still there. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, Claire, I can hear you. I think James has lost connection. So
Okay.
if we could, do you have the film to hand on YouTube?
Okay, let me.
I can
Okay, so this is what I'll do. I will share the to hand. What I've got is the link on the Alzheimer's Society. I had this ready to go. So, if you just give me a minute. So what I'll do is, if I post this, the link in the chat, then people can go and look for where it left off. I'm sorry, really sorry about this.
Hi Claire, it's Nigel.
Hi. So I've just posted. Hopefully, let me see.
James has been kicked off.
Oh,
okay.
At his end, so he's trying to get back on now.
And from the doctor to.
Oh.
I think the best thing to do is are you the host now?
It looks like it. I'm trying to send a link. If you go up, is that works? I'm trying to send the link. Why isn't that working?
No, it might be better if you try to run the presentation from your screen. Can you do that?
Yeah, I will try and get the link up. So just please bear with me a second, everybody. And I'll try to get the link.
Maybe I am overreacting.
Do we know exactly what minute we were on? Might be not exact.
Hello, this is David Warrior.
Right, I'm going to see if I can.
And I'm hoping you'll be along to see.
I'm sorry, that's an ad.
of dementia and offers hope.
Right. We got to Jill and Steve. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the film.
Okay.
And then I'll try and find the spot.
There's been some reaction in the chat boxes and the question and answers, Claire. There's a lot of love out there for this.
Okay, I think I've found roughly the spot. And if I try and share my screen now, stay with me, folks, please. I'm really sorry about this. Right, where do I share my screen? Share screen. So hopefully that's working. If I press play.
We will be saying phone
I can't see the screen. Can anyone else see the screen?
No.
She looked to pass that on.
Can you see my screen if I do this?
Because he finally shrugged off that family.
Yeah.
Do you want me to play it?
Yeah, go for it. So I've got to 58, 54 in the film. I think that's back up to roughly where we were. So we're talking about what happens after Steve makes that phone call.
Okay.
50,
you want
around, go to 58.
Okay, perfect. Just to make sure this works. If you can know that you can hear everything, that would be good.
Let's have breakfast in bed this morning, shall we? Hey? Now look.
Is that okay?
Oh, don't worry about it, Mum. Don't worry.
Oh dear.
I'll just lick it off.
It's lime.
I know.
I like lime.
Look, I've taken the morning off work, okay? And I think you should stay at home as well.
Well done, thank you. So, how does the pressure? How does the pressure come off?
I think that the narrative of this family is of self-sufficiency. The mum spoke about that at the beginning, and she looked to pass that on, and the pressure came off because he finally shrugged off that family myth of self-sufficiency.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? He kind of admitted he couldn't cope in a way, and took pressure off. I think that's kind of quite moving, really, because I think that's the point at which maybe people don't make quite so many mistakes. And then they have a lovely little scene, and it doesn't matter that she's got some jam all over her hands or whatever else she does. Hello, sorry.
I thought he took the pressure off just by allowing himself some time.
He did.
I mean, I don't know that he was changing family dynamics and things. I think he just bought himself some time to think about what he needed to do.
Yes.
He's also taking control as well. So it wasn't just about allowing external pressures to control him. By taking time, he then was able to then control, and then was able to have an isolated relationship, or just a relationship between him and his mum, rather than just the clock had stopped ticking at them.
Yeah.
What if his boss had said no, he couldn't have the morning off?
If it was a friend of mine, and we're of an age now where, you know, lots of this is happening to our friends, we would be saying phone in sick.
Do the phone call. Do the phone call again. Off you go. Just do the phone call, Steve. And he says, no, you've got to come in now.
John, hi, it's Tony. Listen, I think I might need to take the morning off work, mate. Sorry? Yeah, John, I know how busy we are, I know. But John, I've just turned up my mum's. The place is it's like a bomb site. There's cottage pie all over the kitchen floor. She's struggling up in the bedroom. Look, John. Look, mate, I'm sorry, but something's got to give here. I know how busy we are. I'm just asking for a morning. That's all I'm asking for, please. Look, an hour then. Yeah? Thanks.
Well done. So I suspect that the game is what side you're going to go on. He's either going to end up losing his job and he'll stay, or he'll end up making a mistake and he'll go. I'd like to go back to our first situation, but it's moved on a little bit. So we're saying goodbye to Tony and we're saying hello to Steve. And Steve's daughter, who lives a long way away, has popped down for the weekend. Off we go.
Hello, Dad. You in the kitchen?
Hello, love.
Hello. You going for lunch?
Yes, I just wondered if we could have 5 minutes before we go out.
Are you okay?
Yes,
You look tired.
I am tired, Sal. Yes, things are getting worse.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Dad.
I had a fall the other day.
Oh my God, Dad! What?
No. It was, I managed to reach the phone in the hall, and I rang next door. Names.
Chris.
Colin and Chris, and then Colin came straight round, and well, the thing is, Sam, my mobility's bad, and these carers you've got in for me, they're lovely people. You couldn't wish for better, but
yeah, I thought they were really good.
Sometimes they're here at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I don't want to be up. And then other times I think I'm up and I'm done and I'm dressed, and it's 11:30 before they.
Yeah, but Dad, I just have to call them and we can get you a set time.
Just please let me say what I need to say, because I'll get very confused. And in the evening they're trying to get me to bed at 6:30 in the evening. It's ridiculous. So we were next door. Colin, and we had coffee, and they mentioned that they put their mother a while back into a home, and I've decided, Sal, that I think I'm doing the same. They've been very helpful to me, and
Dad, wait, we are not
yeah. Where has this come from?
No, it's I like I say, Sally. I really am struggling these days, and I have a brochure.
Dad, just sit down. You don't need to show me.
Don't please. All I'm trying to say to you, Sally, is that I think next week I think we sign some papers and I move in. But
Sorry, what?
they've been so helpful to me, you know, and
I'm sure they have, Dad. But what do you mean you're signing papers?
well you have to sign before you can move in. It's what you have to do.
Dad, I'm so confused. You always said that you wanted to stay here.
No, I don't.
You always said that you'd want to stay here like Mum.
Please don't raise your voices. No, there's no need to shout. It's just the thing is, Sally, I did want to stay. This place held many memories for me a long time ago, but now it's just bricks, really, now, Sally.
Yeah, but it still does to me.
I'm very sorry, Sally, but I have to think of myself in this instance.
Yeah, of course you do, because you always do.
No, please don't say that. Please don't be like that. It's just, all I'm asking is, as you're here this weekend, would you be able to get this place on the market for me, please?
What?
I need to sell it to move, I think.
Dad, where even is this home?
Well, it's I think I have a brochure somewhere.
Dad, where even is this home?
I think it's near. I think it's.
Have you been?
No, I believe so. Yeah, I think so. I have a brochure.
You have told me nothing about this.
Oh, Sally, please don't get cross about it. It's not.
How can I not get cross? Colin and Chris.
Oh no, don't
know more about what you're going to do in the next few weeks than I do.
Please don't blame them. They're just helping me. They're helping me because they're here, Sally. They're here.
So they're the ones that know all about it.
Yes.
Right. Well, I'm going to go and have a chat with them instead.
No, please, Sally, don't.
So you have decided to do it because you don't want to be a burden on her.
And I've accepted the situation, which I'd never done before.
Yeah.
I've now accepted the situation.
You know what's going on.
And by accepting it, I can then rationally make a decision. What's the next step? I've always been angry, I've always been cross, I've always been fighting it.
Which is still part of his personality.
Yeah.
Because when a lot of people, given that level of acceptance, would just drift.
Yeah.
But he's making a positive out of a whole load of negatives.
Yeah. Which feels right, because he feels like he's quite a decisive human being.
Yeah.
Well, why do we feel a bit uneasy about it? Sorry?
We don't know who's selling them the room and where it is,
Yeah.
and whether they've got their best interests at heart.
Yeah. What about the daughter? They're quite strong characters.
They're both
together.
suffering from a loss here. A lot of this is about loss for both of them. Hugely shocking for her, even though he still has capacity to make that decision. So he's losing his home, he's losing his independence. She's losing her family home. She's losing her dad.
So it's difficult.
Well, it's a really tricky situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost impossible for anyone to feel like they're doing the right thing.
What I think makes this interesting is the right thing for who? Because it has to somehow be the right thing for two people, doesn't it? Otherwise, it isn't really the right thing, and that's difficult, very difficult.
It's when you reach a point where you're not sure who should be making the decisions now. I think it's really tricky for families. You know, my family are going through this right now with my nan, and she's still so independent in so many ways, but there's a fear that she's not able to decide what's best for her, and do they need to do that for her now?
Let's see if we can get them a bit closer.
Hello? Dad, you in the kitchen?
Hello, love.
Hello? You going for lunch?
Yes, could we just maybe have 5 minutes before we go?
You all right, Dad?
Yes, I'm fine.
You look tired.
I am tired, sir. Things are getting tougher. I have to be honest with you. I had a fall the other day.
My God, Dad, why?
No. It's nothing serious. I fell in the hall and I managed to reach for the phone and I rang next door names.
Colin and
Yeah, Colin and Chris, and Colin came straight round, picked me up, fantastic, and they stayed and had coffee with me, and I think I've got a.
No, Dad, what is it? I can find it.
No, it's they gave me a brochure. They told me a while back Chris, her mother had got to a stage, and they put her into a home. It's a very nice home, I think, from the brochure. But it's got me thinking, Sal, and I feel maybe it's time I did the same thing.
Dad, what?
I think I need to go into a home.
You always said you wanted to stay here.
Yes, I did, but the thing is, Sal, my mobility is not good now. I can't even really go outside the house for fear of falling or getting lost, and I feel I need more care than I'm getting from these people that you sent in. So I was what I was wondering, Sal, if I could find the brochure.
It's all right, I'll find it. I can always ask them next door.
Maybe you'd come and look at the place with me. See if it's a place I could live.
Is this what you really want?
I think it's what I need, Sal. I think it's what I need. So
I'm not going to lie. I don't want to say goodbye to this place.
I understand that. The thing is, Sally, this place used to hold a lot of memories for me. I can't really. It's just a pile of bricks now. I am sorry, but if you were able to, if you have time tomorrow, we could do lunch today, and if you have time tomorrow, we could, if you wouldn't mind, maybe look.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be a bit selfish, Dad. If this is what you really want, I was hoping maybe we could look closer to me. Then I might be able to actually see you more.
Ah, boy, I hadn't thought of it. Yes, I hadn't considered that. Yes, please. That I think would be a yes.
I mean, we can look at this place. I mean, if Chris's mum liked it, we can have a look tomorrow.
Yes. Well, we'll look there tomorrow, and when you go home, maybe you could
have a look at places around me.
Yes. Shall we go for lunch?
Yeah, I'm starving.
Okay.
These situations are not uncommon. They're happening day in, day out. There is too little recognition and funding for carers. Bit of a political statement there, but it's a fact.
Yeah, thank you. I really found that so interesting, and the exercise of trying to improve the relationships and the conversation in the moment. But it strikes me that one of the hardest, most daunting things about dementia is that there's a sense in families from that early diagnosis and memory problem stage that you need to have conversations in advance and about decisions that are so complicated and hard, and that you don't know whether it's do you want your children to be giving your intimate personal care, or the moment of going into a care home, and those decisions. And I think I certainly felt, and we all feel, really ill-equipped to have those conversations for a time point which is, you know, we don't know how far into the future. And I just wonder if there are other people in the audience or people who are in the play who have a sense of whether even having those conversations helps. You know, would it have made some of these scenarios easier had those conversations taken place before? And how do we help each other have those conversations earlier?
Okay, question out to everybody. Anybody got any thoughts or experience or solutions?
That was sort of what I was just thinking. And I was just thinking what I think has really made me realise today is how little communication training, understanding of dementia training we offer to carers early days, but then carry it on through that diagnosis and through that process. So they might get some sort of support right at the start, but actually you've got to go back and revisit that as the person's condition changes. And, you know, you could have those conversations about, in the early days, about, you know, sit down, think about what your future would look like, think about the things that be acceptable to you, but also the communication techniques that you were teaching there. Families are just left to work it out themselves, you know, and it comes down to their sort of personality types or how their relationships work in their family. They're not taught communication skills like that.
All the people that we met, and we've met a lot of people, and they're all different and their experiences are different. But one of the things that was so striking, I think, was how incredibly strong they were in the way they related to what was happening to them, which we found very affecting. And I hope that we've done a bit to honor that. I also feel that there, you know, there's a reasonable level of sort of like in the room. So I think they've done okay. So maybe you wouldn't mind giving them a little clap.
Oh shit, what have I done?
And they need cooperation, otherwise there's conflict. And if there's conflict, it makes the person that's suffering the disease, it makes their life harder. So if that can be thought about and decisions made on the whole rather than for one person, it seems to be a better idea.
I didn't really know a lot about dementia beforehand, but I thought it was an illness where it just kind of snaps on, and it's very, you know, simple, but it's a long process which I hadn't noticed before.
It was easier in one way because of my age to appreciate the difficulties that a dementia patient has. In other ways, it was a trifle frightening. I hope I don't ever find myself in that situation. But if I do, I will understand it better, and I hope be able to handle it better. I've got some mild experience through my own mother and her mother of what dementia can do to a family and how it gets handled. As I say, it came a bit close to home, so that I was conscious of having to keep a distance.
I met quite a lot of quite amazing people doing the project, and a lot of the expectations that I would have had about people with the condition were proved to be wrong. And I think that the variety of people's responses is far wider than I was expecting. I think that the areas of change that the condition makes on people are very, very wide. So quite a lot, really.
It seemed quite positive that what we were showing was real. And they even said a little uncomfortable. And I think it should be a little bit uncomfortable because it is.
The stories that we've seen come from real interviews with people with dementia, and the Ideal Project asked Paul to develop dramas based on these real situations. There was a story of discovery going on there, how Paul and the actors discovered about how to you know, communicate about people with dementia.
What particularly captured my interest was the way that Paul and the actors had really listened, absorbed, processed, and then delivered what we'd spoken to them about. Because I've never seen that before. Seldom have I seen it actually taken through to that level of impact, which I thought was amazing. The film, in many ways, captured what Ideal is about as well. And Ideal is, of course, about living as well as possible with dementia. 2 or 3 key points linked to that that I felt came across strongly through the film was the word care. You know, there was the concept of the word care, and there was an interesting discussion between the director and the audience, and then this integrated into footage around the rehearsal. I thought that was really good. I thought that really captured this sense of caring. A link to that, this idea of taking control. There's quite a bit of time spent on who has control in the relationships, if you like. And I thought that was a really strong point to make. You know, it's part of a journey, I guess, because that's what we're trying to convey as well, a journey idea of people experiencing all aspects that we can convey of living with dementia. It captures for me all of the full picture of dementia, the good and the bad and the ugly. And the good is as important as the bad and the ugly.
Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Keith, I can see you there, great stuff. James, I think, oh, there you are. That's good. It's good to see that some people are still on. I'm really sorry for all the glitches. We do have a link to the film in the chat already. And I'll post that again. And I think James is planning on sending an email after this to everybody who's seen it, but also people who were interested. So a link to the film, a link to the blog, and some other links as well about what we're doing. So you could have another chance to look at it if you wanted to. Shall we kick off with questions? If anybody wants to post questions or just pipe up, the panel can answer them. What, if you've got any comments, that'd be great. I'll put my video on.
Shall I start? I've been monitoring the chat box, Claire.
Thank you.
There's quite a bit of chat about the failure of technology. We can't do anything about that. So let's talk about the impact of the film. The general feeling was this is brilliantly powerful portrayal of what how things happen in the real world. I mean, I was diagnosed 10 years ago now, and I can still see bits of that relate to me. It was a genuine article. Martina says this is very powerful. Steve Meltby says thanks for sharing. There's a thing there from Chris Norris who says that it brought back so much memories of his diagnosis a few years ago, and reminding him that his life goes on even after diagnosis. Michael Hughes says, thanks for sharing this video with us. Good to see both sides of what's happening. I think more people should see this, and maybe they look at it a different way. I think the general feeling, there are so many positive responses to this film, which I kind of expected after seeing, you know, when you came to our meeting. And it's exactly what I expected it to be, really. And I'm going to stop talking and give it over to you. One of the great things that people forget in the world of dementia is, and it's an argument I have all the time with people, it's not about the person with the diagnosis solely. Truly, they should be the focus, but you know, the waves, the impact is, it affects so many other people in that person's circle. And that was shown how families can quickly absorb, you know, the trauma of the diagnosis, and then forget about the person with the diagnosis, but look at the difficulties to themselves caused by that diagnosis. Brilliantly portrayed. And that's coming through with the messages that we're getting through now at the moment, actually. And portrayed very well. People like to learn more about Ideal. Very insightful. Thanks for sharing. It's everything I expected it to be.
Yeah, great. I wonder if anybody's got any questions. So I was involved from the beginning and sat in on the rehearsals and the play and everything. So if anyone's got any questions about that, Keith was one of the members of the advisory group. So he was involved in helping the actors to understand dementia alongside the research that I had in my tool bag. And we could talk about, real people's, real life experiences. I wonder if anyone's got any questions for us, or any other comments or insights about the film that they'd like to share.
Yeah, there's one or two been popped into the question box, Claire.
Oh yeah,
one's just appeared.
Okay. So yeah, how broadly will it be shown? So obviously today is the launch day. So we've put it up onto the Alzheimer's Society website today with a blog, and we've also got it on our website. So now it's freely available to be shared. And we're also trying to get the word out there. So obviously we're tweeting about it. We're trying to, obviously we've got this, you guys are seeing it. So we hope that the news of it being available will be up. And because it's free and it's freely available on, on YouTube at the moment, we hope it will go far and wide. The other thing is that we hope that cinemas will take it up. I mean, it's kind of up to them, but it's up to you guys, to the public that we show it to make the cinemas aware. We can try and contact cinemas, but basically our job sort of ends really now. We've finished the film, we've got it, and in terms of the promotional stuff, we hope that some press and some other involvement from the Alzheimer's Society will help get it seen. So yeah, we hope that people who work in the NHS in a professional capacity, but also dementia groups will pick it up and will want to use it and talk about it and share it. So it's kind of, we've sort of put it out and we're sort of leaving it up to the world to pick it up, if you like. Yeah, it would be lovely, wouldn't it, if we could get some politicians to see it. I'm hoping that through our channels and our networks, a few will. We've got a reasonable Twitter following, and we hope that the people that are sort of in those roles will maybe see it via that. But we can do our best to try and get it seen, really. Christine mentioned that she would like to see people with dementia playing the role. Yeah, we actually did try to recruit people with dementia as actors, and in fact we did a reasonable job. We had a couple of people who were interested, but because we had to do it in Exeter, the rehearsals needed to be in Exeter because we needed to rehearse face to face. The guy that was interested and looked like a good candidate was in Nottingham, and so basically we couldn't find any Exeter-based actors or people with dementia who could act. So unfortunately we couldn't do that, but because we couldn't do that, we were very keen to try and inform the actors as best as we could about what it's like to live with dementia. The scenarios we wanted to make as real as possible, so the scenarios and the stories were based on what actually happens, and so we tried to make it authentic from that point of view. And of course the advisory group got to see the film and get involved with the film, so the advisory group could also talk to the actors and help them be able to do that well. So hopefully that was reasonably well covered, although absolutely, yeah, Jill was the closest, but she didn't have dementia. Any other questions?
Yeah, there's one about it being shown on television, Claire.
Yeah, well, if we can, wouldn't it be fantastic? I mean, we do have some links to the press, so we've got our own press people who work with the university, so they've sent out a press release today. So I did an interview with BBC Radio Devon this morning, and quite often the press pick things up once it's gone out. So we hope it might well be picked up. Keith has kindly given me a link or a name of somebody who we've done that this morning. Keith, I've jumped on that and we've emailed him. your buddy who works in the BBC. So absolutely, wouldn't it be fantastic if we could have it on telly? But it's up to people to take it up, really. We have notified some cinemas, and it's up to them to find slots and to, I guess, maybe the pressure from the public wants to see it. So we will see. But like I say, if anybody listening to this or seeing this want to do more with film and show it to local groups, it's there, it's available to you. We do have a high quality format. So this was obviously streamed via the internet. So it's not the best way to show it, but we do have the downloadable copy, which is a better quality and a much better grade, but also you wouldn't get all the glitches with the issues we've had, because we're trying to do it over the internet, but with also a large audience. So
I think now, as the clock is pressing and time is moving on and the world is turning, we need to maybe draw it to a close, and just to once again express sincere thanks on behalf of both Exeter University and the Three Nations Dementia Working Group and the Alzheimer's Society for everyone joining us this morning, and wish you all a very good afternoon and a good weekend to follow. So thank you once again, everyone.
Thank you. Look out for the email that comes in your inbox with all the links, and also on here, the link via the Alzheimer's Society, and you can share it through there. But thanks, it's really great to meet everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to do a debrief, Keith, when all the
just very, very, very briefly, please? Yeah.
Okay.